Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Venus and Adonis, and today we've made it to stanzas 161 to 164. So the stuff that's happening, Venus was able to seduce Adonis in the woods, but he didn't want a second go around. He left to go hunt boars, which made her very afraid that he's going to die. And then she heard the hunting dogs and went to find Adonis, but she saw a boar with blood all over its face, so she convinced herself that Adonis was dead. And she's been railing against death, saying, how could you do this? You're supposed to take old people, but you took this young, beautiful, beautiful man. And at the end of yesterday's stanzas, we were back to the narrator talking, and the narrator lets us know that basically she's just sitting there sobbing her eyes out, as one does. And stanza 161 picks up saying, oh, how her eyes and tears did lend and borrow. Her eyes, seen in the tears, tears in her eye, both crystals, where they viewed each other's sorrow, sorrow that friendly sighs sought still to dry. But like a stormy day, now wind, now rain, sighs dry her cheeks, tears make them wet again. Variable passions throng her constant woe, as striving who should best become her grief. All entertained, each passion labors so, that every present sorrow seemeth chief, but none is best. Then join they all together, like many clouds consulting for foul weather. By this, far off she hears some huntsman hollo. A nurse's song ne'er pleased her babe so well. The dire imagination she did follow, this sound of hope doth labor to expel. For now reviving joy bids her rejoice, and flatters her it is Adonis' voice. Whereat her tears began to turn their tide, being prisoned in her eye like pearls in glass, yet sometimes falls an orient drop beside, which her cheek melts, as scorning it should pass to wash the foul face of the sluttish ground, who is but drunken when she seemeth drowned. So these first couple stanzas are once again about how she's sobbing, and she's sobbing and she's sighing, and every time she sighs her face dries off, and every time she sobs her face gets wet again. And it talks about her, all of these sorrows that she's feeling, fighting to determine who's feeling the most grief, which sort of reminds me of the end of The Rape of Lucrece, when you've got father and husband sort of vying for who gets to be the most sad that Lucrece is now dead. But this is a comedy, and it's Venus being upset about Adonis. But then she hears the huntsman off there, like, making some noise, and she's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, that has to be him. She convinces herself that it's Adonis. Now, whether or not it is, we don't know yet. We're going to find that out later. But she was so upset that just hearing a human voice, a human male voice, she's like, oh my goodness, this must be Adonis. So the tears kind of start to go away, but also sort of become tears of joy that every once in a while fall from her eyes. And in the following stanzas, we will get to find out whether or not she's right. I don't know. What do you think? This is a comedy. Does she find Adonis? Do they reunite? Do they have a round two? We'll find out in tomorrow's stanzas and the ones after that. I'll see you then. Mwah.